And are the warning systems effective in Kerala, especially in southern India, the coastal areas? Recently, the fishermen had complained because it is not. They needed localized warning systems.
Yes, that's true. See, the IMD is the main custodian for weather forecast in India, and they are the official agency. But their IMD's forecast for if you really take about 10 years back, forecast was not that up to the mark. But last 10 years, 8 to 10 years, they have improved a lot substantially, and they have acquired advanced modeling system, advanced computer, more data now, more satellite data, for example, and so their forecasting system has improved. But still, forecasting is a challenge, especially with issues like a small scale heavy rainfall occurring in a small place. And so fishermen, I am aware about the fishermen's concerns, because when they go, so normally IMD gives a kind of a southern parts of Kerala, but fishermen really want a particular location. He may not really wander around the whole southern Kerala.
Yes.
He'll go to a particular location. So he needs forecast for that region. So IMD is trying. I think I agree with you that they need very localized kind of forecast, which IMD is trying to do it. May not be highly successful, but of course we can definitely try for that.
And many changes have been happening in the Arabian Sea. Earlier it was not exactly prone to cyclones, but now cyclones are becoming
That's true. So observations of the last 10 years, if you see, Arabian Sea, all the oceans are warming up. So warming is not really restricted over land. It's restricted, now it is spread over the ocean. And Indian Ocean is unfortunately warming much more than any other ocean. And Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea is warming much better, much faster. So Arabian Sea warming is causing a more frequent tropical cyclone. Last 8-10 years, we see the frequency has substantially increased, and that can cause, of course, damages to the coast, western coast, and also it can affect the coastal area because of the sea. It can increase the sea erosion.
Again, the coastal areas being affected.
Yes, coastal areas are vulnerable, Indian coast, and most of a lot of population lives in these coastal areas, especially
centered around.
Yeah, centered around. So we have to be very careful about this kind of.
So what can we do about it? Like, what will be the safety precautions, since nothing much is being done to prevent climate change or to stop climate change? What can the people do?
Well, some mitigation effort has to go. So that in the beginning I told that all countries have to cut down their consumption of fossil fuel like coal or petrol. That they have to do. There's no other way. But as I said, that one country alone cannot do. India alone cannot do. It should be done by.
We have an ambition that by 2030 we are going to cut down half of our emissions.
Yes, that, and we are also moving to the alternate green energy like solar and wind. But we are doing our best, but that is not sufficient. So all countries have to do. So mitigation effort has to go. The second option we have is adaptation. Adapt to these changes. Somehow adapt this to the living.
And how can this adaptation?
Adaptation is not very easy to do it, but then we have to learn it. And adaptation for a particular community will be different from adaptation from other community, and also depends upon the place, depending upon with whom you are for what purpose you are adapting. So adaptation science is growing up, and a lot of options are coming up. And the third option is, see, you cannot, for example, there are a lot of buildings, there are a lot of constructions happening in the coast. Try to avoid as much as possible. If it's absolutely required, you do it. And that you cannot do anything. If something, for example, a huge cyclone comes, it can be destroyed. So what we can maximum do is, you can do better is to save people. Saving people we can do, mainly because of our forewarning. Once we forewarnings are, as I said, the middle saying that the forewarnings are improved now a lot. The efficiency or accuracy of the forewarnings have improved thanks to good technology, science and technology. And so if we can get a good forecast, we can, for example, vacate these people, we can evacuate these people to a safer places.
But the flash floods and the cloud.
Flash floods and all is very difficult. I'll tell you, because flash flood, the lead time you may get it for 1 hour. And so it's a really challenging job. Even removing people within 1 hour is almost impossible. But in cities like Bangalore and all, see, there's a kind of radio, kind of WhatsApp messages. You can at least tell the people don't go out in the next 1 hour or 2 hours. So that kind of attempts are also being made.
And the landslides too.
Landslide is again, it's a spontaneous effect. And forewarning is possible, but very tough job. And we know that especially landslides in Kerala occurs due to heavy rains. So we know that where it is going to happen, the heavy rains, and it is already it's a landslide prone area. We have to go. So there you have at least one day or even few hours you may get to get people evacuated. So at least few hours. Enough, that's sufficient. So they would simply leave and go to some safer places. So landslide warning is perfect, is possible. And we can save, we cannot do anything with the buildings and all may go, but we can save the people and landslides. So tropical cyclones, as you know that we have been doing a lot of good work and we are able to save. Now earlier days, 1999 cyclone which affected Odisha killed more than 10,000 people. Now Odisha, when cyclone comes, hardly some 4 or 5 people who die. And that also people who don't believe in forecasts and who don't want to get removed from their places. So the accuracy has improved and our effective disaster management system has improved. So we should, but still, as I said, that there are a lot of challenges, flash flood and heavy rains in the small locations, and especially the coastal area, the fishermen's issues, going to a particular place and getting good forecast. There are a lot of challenging gray areas where we need to improve. And so IMD is trying their best to improve this kind of issues.
Is flood mapping being done in all the states?
People have to do it, but I understand, if I am not wrong, the flood mapping in India, Kerala was done much earlier. The whole thing must have changed now. So they have to do a flood mapping as early as possible, and also landslide mapping. So landslide mapping, we know that where are the districts, where are the places landslides are happening, but that must have changed with time. So last 5 years, for example. So we should do a good mapping of flooding as well as landslides. That is
so
important, and that has to be kept on. For example, every 5 years we have to change it.
You have to keep on doing
Keep on doing it. It should be a dynamic.
আমাদের ভিডিও ভালো লাগলে লাইক এবং শেয়ার করুন, কমেন্ট সেকশনে গিয়ে জানান আপনাদের মতামত। আরও ভিডিও পেতে আমাদের চ্যানেল সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন এবং প্রতি মুহূর্তে খবরের আপডেট পেতে প্রেস করুন বেল আইকন।